here as well. Okay, so we have a special treat. So I'm excited everybody's here for our team call. We're just transitioning. So guests who are just on the call, please stay on. So Allison, we have South Africa, Botswana, Canada, and the US on this call. And we're just really excited for the team call today. I thought it would be perfect timing because it's a new month, and for whatever reason, psychologically and energy wise, we feel like, ooh, new month, right? Like new beginning, we could push reset and regroup around our vision and our goals and our belief in ourselves and what's possible. And I thought there's no better person to come on and speak possibility and inspiration and faith and results and actual results into each of us than somebody who went first um in the business. She is what's called a crown, which is the highest level of the business, the first female crown, which is extremely inspiring. She has a very powerful story. And what I love about Allison is her resilience and her belief in herself and faith that when you set a vision and you just go for it, it's possible. She has the hugest heart. She literally leads with a servant heart. She has a massive, massive team of people that she's supporting, and she always makes time. She's such a great example of leadership. Family, my experience of her is one of the most important things to her. And powerful to see her spending so much time with her family because she's created time freedom and leverage through this business. And I wanted her to come on and share specifically today. We're going to have a bit of a Q&A because I think that her story is very relatable. It's very relatable because she started this business with no money. Okay. She started this business with no money. And when it was presented to her, she didn't have the 230 US dollars in her back pocket to pull out and get a package and say, let's going. She had to make a decision that this was something she was going to choose to do. And so I would love to just bring her on. And Allison, just first of all, thank you so much for your time. We have a phenomenal group of leaders listening to you today. Every single person on here has a big goal and a big dream and a big heart. And I know that they can create all of the goals they desire. And I'm just excited to hear your story. If you could start from the beginning and we can just start there. And what I would love is for you to introduce yourself and then just share what was going on in your life when you got that phone call that this was a business that might benefit you, and then you made a decision that it was, but you didn't have the money, so why did you make a decision to find a solution so that you could jump in? And maybe we can just start there with your point A.
Thank you so much, Kelly, for that introduction. Like, I just to hear people talk about yourself, like honestly, I always want to hide under a rock because like people speak of you in such high regard, and you're like, okay, thank you, but like you are amazing. You are an incredible leader, Kelly, and like I know you all know it, but I mean, you are so blessed to have her as a leader. Talk about resilience. Like, there's so much going on in the world in network marketing. And if you build on social media like myself, like gosh, I feel like the shiny object syndrome is legit, like so many people, grasping for our attention. Um, for some reason, I feel like it's louder right now. But all that to be said, thank you for that introduction. Like, I call myself the country bumpkin. Like that is who I am. I show up in sweatshirts, I just can't relate to fancy. I think it's nice, but it's just not me. It's all that like in 2024. So who am I? My name is Allison Beiler. I'm an herbalist, and but don't let that fool you. Apparently, when people hear that I'm an herbalist, oh, she's got a plethora of customers. That's why she grew. No, I am a self-taught herbalist. Been practicing for 20 years. I used to sell and make my own tinctures. I wanted to do my own thing until I didn't because it is very, very hard to sell herbal tinctures. Why? Because if you make them properly, they do not taste good. Okay? So you got to get past the taste if you're going to take real herbal tinctures and to find really like we were growing our own stuff. But to find the good stuff to make, it's like, yeah. So I was like, that was in and out real quick, but we still, I heal my family with all of the things. But I did get into network marketing because I'm an herbalist and because I was shared an herbal product. And I probably, if you've been in this space, you get in and you're excited and things change. And so for me, it's always been product first. I've been in the industry now, it's 11 years now. It was easier last year to say 10 years, but now it's 11 years. Um, And it was always product first. Everybody said I did it backwards because they're always like, lead with the business. Now, you don't have to do what I did. If you're leading with the business, that works for you, fantastic. But for me, it's about the product. So if a company is going to change the product, that changes everything. I'm out. Because if I don't have a product, I don't have a business. For me, it's all about that. So when um, I was burnt out because I got used literally to help launch a product. And when my people got it, they had changed the formula from our test group to when we launched. And I was like, I am so done with the dishonesty in this industry, or just, I'm not even saying like network marketing as a business as a whole, right? So in 2024, it was, very low time for us as a family. We had recently just moved from Pennsylvania to Ohio. We had gone through all of our reserves and then jacked up all of our credit because we were living on credit cards basically at that point. Um, and so I was looking for a job. I'm like, this must not be for me, God, because I am not seeing the results that I thought I would see. I'm not seeing anywhere that I feel like I'm being led to. So I was at a low place in my life, not only financially but mentally. So much so that I chopped my hair off. I was out, we were out back cutting trees or whatever, and I just sometimes this things just get over you, right? I went inside, grabbed my hair, went back outside. My husband looks at me and he goes, I see. I'm like, yep. And that was a time, he's right behind me. He's not usually here, but so it's a little hard to talk about stuff when he's right there. But anyway, that was probably one of the times that he had told me that it was really hard for him to leave me alone. Because, when your mental state takes a toll, you start to say things that aren't probably really comforting to your spouse. And we had already gone through a rough time anyway. So when I got the message from a Facebook friend, never worked with this person before. So that's something very keen for you to know. She reached out to me and she said, hey, I know you're an herbalist. I wanted to share this product with you and want you to know what you think about it. I'm like, what is it? I said, I'm done with network marketing. If you don't know who it is, it's Karen Ford. At the time, she was 69 years old. She just turned 70. And I'm like, well, what is it though? And she said it's a hops extract. I'm like, well, you shouldn't be taking hops because I knew she had diverticulitis, and I said this is not something you should be taking. All the things. And she's like, well, no, it's not hops extract. They're calling it like matured hops extract. And so back then, we didn't know a whole lot about it. There wasn't all the stuff we know now. So when I grabbed it and started looking into the science, I started looking at the clinical trials, all the data. It was like a week or so later, because it was June that she reached out to me. And I said, how are you presenting this? And she's like, it's weight loss. It goes after this visceral fat, and then people are losing weight. And we're putting this in alcohol because there's a clinical trial that shows that this burns, turns metabolism back on. So, like people that are weekend drinkers, the metabolism is not turning off. And if we put this in the drink, and then, it turns it back on, so they're not getting the beer belly. I'm like, whoa, I am not promoting alcohol. Like, not for me. No way, no how. And I'm like, this is way more than that. You know that, right? She goes, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, have you ever looked up visceral fat? She goes, no, I'm not a product person. I'm a business person. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to tell you that this is bigger than weight loss, bigger and better, because weight loss either works or it doesn't. And so many people get body dysmorphia because they think they have to have this body image, right? To live life. I mean, we're all guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. I was telling my husband the other day, and I grew up as a dancer. As a ballet, I was in classical dance. I never went up on toe. I didn't have the body for it, per se. For 13 years, I was a classical dancer. So you're always taught to look a certain way. But the thing is, weight loss, if it does work, guess what? They're going to go on the product, lose the weight, they'll go off the product. If it doesn't work, they'll never buy the product again. If you lead this product, this business, with the fact that this goes after visceral fat was responsible for over 200 deadly diseases, massive diseases. Like the number one issue in health right now is heart disease. Number two is diabetes. And both of those, guess what? Visceral fat. If you look up visceral fat, you find all that information. So when I saw that, I'm like, this is root cause healing. This is what I've literally been writing about in my journal for the last 20 years. God gave me a vision in 2022. He said, one day, sister, you're going to change the world with an herbal tincture. And so I'm like running back in my house. I'm like looking at all my books, like, which one is it, God? I'm ready. Let's go. And he said, you ain't ready yet. So in 2024, when I got the call, I told Karen, I said, this is huge. Y'all aren't leading this right. Um, she already had told corporate they should stop talking about the alcohol thing, and so she did her due diligence there and she led with her mission. And then I'm like, this is huge. It's also activating the vagus nerve. Nobody talks about vagus nerve activation. They talk about gut brain access. Same term. The vagus nerve and gut brain axis refer to the same thing, just so you guys are aware. It's the medical term is the vagus nerve. So, not really knowing Karen very well and knowing her very superficially. Do you think it was easy for me to tell her I can't afford to get in? Because she was like, why, you know all this stuff. You're saying this is great. Why aren't you getting started? And so it probably, if I would look back, I would say it was probably a good month or so that I'm like, I just can't afford it. And she's like, oh. I said, yeah, we're having a rough go of it right now. And but this is what I'm gonna do. I said, I'm gonna let this up to God. I'm gonna pray about it, and I'm gonna make a commitment that if it is to be, we're going to start it in October. And so she didn't just stop talking to me. This is a huge point that I keep sharing with everybody. She kept sending me testimonials. Yes, she added me to a testimonial group, but she would screenshot a testimony and she would put it in the messenger chat. And then the next day, she'd put it in the messenger chat. And then a couple days would go by, she'd send me another testimony. And then she'd send me something else. Even though she knew I said I was coming in on October, it kept me engaged. It kept me like, what? It did that? What? It's doing this? What? Like, oh my goodness. Like the children, there was one testimony back then. There was a child that had surgeries. I want to say he was like 9 or 10 years old. His image is in my head. Um, he had a heart condition and he needed to go have another surgery. Well, the doctor told him that until he puts his BMI down, he can't have surgery. So he got put on Phix. I know this is getting recorded, and just don't take these segments out because I can't diagnose, treat, or cure any diseases, just so we're saying this is at a closed room. Um, his BMI went down so far down that the doctor was thinking, I don't even have to have the surgery. Let's see what this is doing. He never ended up having the surgery. Now, I can't remember the name of the illness that he had, which is totally irrelevant because when you understand what this product is doing, it gets to root cause. That little boy that had endured, I forget how many surgeries at that point or whatever, but he got his BMI down so far that he didn't have to have the surgery. And so he was having sleeping issues at night where he would be waking up. He had the sleep apnea and it was not allowing him to sleep. There was just so much. And all of that was the first thing that went away for him. So I was seeing all this stuff. And so when I got started, I was like, all right, I got the extra money. Like we were literally all, if you haven't heard this, I mean, I was going to the grocery store with my older son with counted out money. So we talk about, the bag of coins. It wasn't really coins, but I mean, it was counted out money. We knew exactly what we needed to go get, the milk and the bread and whatever realistic things that we needed in our house. And we learned to live with as little as possible. I homeschool. And I was telling God, I'm so grateful I homeschool because then my boys don't have to go to school being made fun of because they had holes in their boots, their jeans were so short because my one son just grew through the roof. Those things can humble you to a point where you're like, whoa. So when I shared that with Karen, totally humbly, I stuck with my commitment. And in October, she didn't hound me. It's October, let's get started. She knew. She trusted. She said God reached out to her and told her that, there's something about this whole situation that's going to make a difference. So I got started October the 4th, 2024. And I got in right when another gal from Canada, Nikki Rempel, got in right about the same time. And so I was watching her like, shoo, she took off. She hit Blue Diamond in 60 days. You don't know what rank that is. That is about 200,000 in team sales. 200,000 in volume in team sales, Blue Diamond is. And I'm like, what is she doing? So I got comparitis just like that. And I'm like, all right, I got to figure this out. Like, she's taking off. I don't know who she is and no clue. But then I realized I got to talk to the owner because I don't want to get involved in something's going to change. And this is where my belief went from skeptic to this is it. He was a gentleman, Randy Taynor. He's never been in network marketing. He's manufactured products for other network marketing companies for 22 years. He knows by watching multiple companies that he was manufacturing for that if you change the product, the business changes or it goes bye-bye. In fact, that is how he acquired all of our products called Revive. If you haven't tried them out, oh my goodness, like our laundry soap, our body soap, the body soap, actually you can wash your car with it and it puts like a film over your window. You can use it for your hair, your body, anything. It's safe. It's all minerals. We got silver in there. We got our liquid vitamins. There's so much. So he required that because people couldn't pay their bill. So when I looked him in the eye on a call and I said, are you ever going to change these ingredients? He said, I will tell you that is the last thing I'll ever do with this business. The integrity of the ingredients and the products matters more than anything else when it comes to a business. So when he said that to me, he's like, I won't ever even, our liquid vitamin that we have is called 125 Drive. If you have never looked at it, look at it. I don't know if you guys can get it in South Africa, maybe not, but you can't. Okay, sorry. If we ever get it there, I'm just saying, or if you're selling to the United States or places where it's at, those ingredients in that product are all grown in the highest elevation all over the world so that it's that pure. So then I got started sharing testimonies started coming in from my good friend who's Amish. If you saw the leaderboard, like the Amish are taking over the whole all marketplace global. So, and we ran with this product with a mission. And then when Terry said, who I didn't know yet in December, so I got started in October, I hit platinum the very last day of December. So it took me all of October, all of November, and all of December for me to hit platinum. So if you don't know what platinum is, that's 12 people in your organization. Two of them have to be business builders, the others are customers. So I had 10 customers. My one friend Eli was my one ISR, and then I had another friend sign up that was another ISR. That was it. I hit platinum. And then Terry said, we're going on a diamond run. I'm like, what's a diamond run? What does diamond get me? He said, diamond gets you a solid six-figure a year income. I'm like, whoa, what? Okay, what do I got to do? I'm thinking he's going to tell me I got to message this many people. I got to do this. I got to do that. Nope. I have it right here in front of my head, face. I have it hung in there because it's literally all about up here. In network marketing, I feel like a lot of people put these tasks in front of them, and those tasks are going to get them to their goal. It's your belief and the vision that you hold on to is what's going to get you to your goal. So I had no belief in myself. I had no belief in anything else. So when I met Terry and I met Byron and I was talking with Karen, all three of them said, believe in us. Use our belief, power our belief. Because we believe in this. They've all been here since the beginning. They've all fought the battles. They've got 30 plus years of network marketing, each one of them. And so then I see Terry, who's running, hits Crown Diamond before right when I got started here. And, all of a sudden he's earning $1 million in like 10 months because of Phix. I'm like, that is going to change a lot of people's lives. But when I saw what we had here with a product and I saw the simplicity behind the business side of it, that's when all of a sudden blinders were on. I can't tell you how it happened. I could tell you all who came into my big business and all grew, but the how isn't for me to figure out. It's my belief and my vision. And when I speak to people, I have that conviction in my voice. I don't question, I don't doubt. I didn't know what the comp plan was, y'all. I didn't care. All I cared was this product is working, people are getting results, and I wanted to get this into as many bodies as possible. And that's what I ran with. So I learned simple things of how to track my numbers, and my number tracking is literally my volume. So all that, I then hit diamond the very last day of January. I went from platinum last day of December and diamond at the last day of January. And yes, then came February, I signed up several powerhouses. It was like a floodgate opened up. Whoosh, and all of a sudden business took off and I hit this is really, really crazy to think that it took me 3 full months to hit platinum, and then diamond in January, and then February, March, presidential diamond. So, if you don't think there's somebody else behind what's going on in my life, this has nothing to do with me. This has to do with people's lives changing. When the testimonies came rolling in and rolling in and rolling in, it was like I get so excited every time I open my phone and I saw a new testimony from somebody saying, I got my mom back, I got my dad back, and people that are getting off of medication. There's so many good things. People whose hair was falling out is growing back, and people who are suffered for years with different health issues. When these calls come back, it burns a fire in you that you can't put out. Nothing can put it out. Things happen. Just because things go well doesn't mean life still doesn't happen. But guess what? I respond to life a lot different today than I did last year. I got tested every step of the way. And one of the things that really stands out to me, and a lot of people think it's crazy, is, my husband's birthday was January the 24th, 4th. And I was having a Zoom call with one of these big leaders that was looking to join. And I had messaged her. She said no to me 3 times. So this is something that I really think has nothing to do with me. And finally, she's like, you know what? I'm going to send that comp plan to a friend of mine who knows a lot about binaries. Let me get back to you. And she's like, all right, she wants to look at it, and we have 5 other people that want to look at it together. Can we get a Zoom together? Sure. So January the 24th, set up a Zoom call with Terry and Randy and Karen. And yeah, it was my husband's birthday, and right next door, we were going to do a pizza party. I was going to surprise him. I told the neighbors I'm going to bring pizza. We're going to surprise my husband when he comes back, and we're going to have this pizza party. So right before the call, I checked my bank account to make sure I had enough money, which I thought I did, but I didn't, because guess what? A creditor got a hold of it and I was negative a couple thousand. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Now I have to face the embarrassment to call my neighbor and tell them that I can't afford to buy pizza. And it was so horrible at that very moment. And it's not just about money, it's about literally you're trying, and you get pulled back just like that. And I get on the call, and Terry's like, what's going on? I had a hat on. I pulled my hat down. If you know what that, you can hide your face really well with a hat. And he's like, and I told him, I said, I don't know if I can do this. I said, I'm getting attacked all over the place, and it's just shooting me down. And then he goes, let me pray for you. So he shuts it up, prays for me. We open up the call. My head's down. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to talk. I'm a mess. And everything went well. The girl that I reached out to prospected, she said no, because our company was not going to hand her a golden ticket. I mean, can we get an amen? Aren't we tired of all these leaders coming in with here you go, here's a spot, here you go, here's a spot, and everything's so groovy for them. We weren't going to do that for her. So she left, but some of the people that were on that call called me up and said she left, but I'm in. I didn't know those people. I never had a conversation with them, but something led me to say something to her that led these people to get on the call, and they said yes, and here I grew ridiculous. And the amount of people that came into the organization, today we sit at 21,000 people. 21,000 people from a year ago. Now, again, this has nothing to do with me. It has to do with the vision, belief, and going at it, because I know what I know when it comes to what this product is doing for people. Still to this day, I just went to the grocery store last night. I take that card, and if you've ever struggled and you're going to pay, that pit in my stomach, is it going to get declined? I know there's money there, but it was so triggering. But the money is a reflection of the lives that are changing, because I was willing to say yes when everything in me wanted to say no. So when you take you out of the picture and you allow yourself to just then be the messenger, things happen in a totally different way. Phix has changed people's lives. And I love the fact that it's tasteless, it's odorless. I give it to my dogs. I give it to horses. I had a horse here that had an issue not about a month and so ago, and I started giving it to her, and now it saved her from having a life, in my opinion, a long-term issue, because it stopped a certain inflammatory issue. So for me, I have yet to see a product ever, anywhere that compares to this, that is safe. You can't take so much of it that all of a sudden you get too sick. It doesn't have any interactions with any medication. Doesn't matter if you're male or female. It doesn't matter what disease you have. It doesn't matter what medication you're on. None of that matters. When you have something that you feel that confident with and you can share it without any altercations, that's where I get excited. And then I take it all over the world with me. And we're just getting started. We just popped open Mexico, just popped our very first diamond in Mexico. I mean, things are growing and you're at the right place at the right time. You are opening up South Africa in a huge way. And there, as you said, there's people here from Canada. Like, everything is just still growing. People still don't know about us, but they will. So Kelly, I'm not sure what else you would like me to cover, but that there is the story. But yes, I mean, humbly wise, I always feel like I don't deserve this. I never understood why I was chosen, but here we are.
Oh my gosh, Allison, thank you. Everything you shared, I'm just sitting here taking notes. You shared so many nuggets in there. But I love how you talked about it's your belief and your vision, right? That holds you to continuing to move forward. And maybe what you can share on, and we can open it up for the team too. I'd love the team to be able to ask some questions. Yeah, I do have one question because your story is so powerful. And lately with the team, we've been talking a lot about identity shifts. And I think what you just touched on is so important that when you go to the store, you still have this, is it gonna decline even though you're making almost a couple $100,000 a month or whatever, 160,000 plus on average as a crown, right? And there's still that twinge of like, hope it goes through. Yet this
Hmm.
this is real, right? And we even did an identity exercise where we're practicing shifting, our beliefs and who we're becoming so that we can get the thing. And so what would you share with everybody on here who possibly is struggling from a survival perspective and from a, let's just say, a poor perspective, right? Of not having enough time and money for a long period in their life to start to, how do you put the chicken before the egg type thing, right? Like when the money isn't actually there, what guidance would you give so that people can start to have that identity shift and belief in themselves that not only is it possible, but it's possible for them?
So, I didn't come from anything that where there was money available. In fact, my parents always told me, you ever heard the phrase, what do you think, Allison? Money grows on trees?
Yeah.
You ever heard that story? So like it's like very programmed in my head that money's the root of all evil, and people, my mom would never even watch the Olympics because those people all come for money. And I'm like, really? I mean, I grew up a dancer, I grew up a horseback rider, I grew up also with a lot of trauma. So there's a lot of things that happened to me. So I chose, unfortunately, for the vast majority of my life, to live in what I call victim mindset. I constantly labeled myself a victim of sexual abuse, a victim of physical abuse, a victim of, verbal abuse, a victim of all kinds of things. And the world owed me something. And so therefore I thought that uh, I was never ever going to be able to break free from that. I would see it, I would want that, but then I felt enabled, like somebody had to do it for me. And I have been blessed to have very, very hard horseback riding teachers. I'll just put it that way. Like they made me cry. Like they were brutal, but it taught something in me that if you want it bad enough, you got to push beyond your comfort zone. Like we get so used to being comfortable being uncomfortable. And I feel like what holds majority of people back is the fear of leadership. I mean, I can honestly tell you, like, when I would see people being a leader in network marketing, like, they're fancy, they got their hair did and their makeup and all, and great. I love that for them. But that just isn't me. And I don't dress like that and I don't do the things that they do. And it's like, maybe this isn't for me because I'm not a Prada or whatever, Louis Vuitton, none of that stuff really resonates with me. And so I was like, maybe this isn't for me. And I'm looking at this all wrong. And it was when I surrendered my control. And when somebody asks you, how do you know when you were finally surrendering? It's when you can finally say, I'm done. I'm going to move on. That is surrendering. It's a very hard lesson to, I believe, to teach because you have to go through it. And so you grow through what you go through. When you start to find a blessing in all of it, had I not had all the things that happened to me in my life and in my career and all of the things I thought people were doing to me, they were doing for me. Do I love all the things that happened to me? Absolutely not. Do I wish it on anybody? No, absolutely not. But if we continue to act as though we are supposed to be gifted something, and when are you going to switch yourself to that level of, you know what? Once I'm crowned diamond, think of all the people I'm going to hit. Think of all the people I'm going to help. And it's not about me. You are a mere vessel, a messenger. That is it. And so when that identity switches from I'm a victim to a messenger, that is where the breaking of free, that's the surrendering. I talk to so many leaders and across the entire industry at this point, and all they ever do is, what's in it for me? I was that way too. I did this for this person, and then they took advantage of me and all of the things. And, I had to put that away. We got eyes on the front of our head for a reason. No eyes at the back of our head. Why? Because the only thing that we're supposed to do is connect the dots going backwards. We can see why things happen the way they are, but you got to let go. And how do you know when you're not controlling the outcome? I messaged 10 people today and nobody responded. And I've sent out 20 messages every single day and nobody's responded. That's you controlling the outcome. You're doing things and expecting a result from those things. So when you finally let go and surrender, you just go for it. You don't attach it to an outcome. Yes, you have a goal. Yes, you have a destination. You cannot get behind the steering wheel of a car and have nowhere to go. You're going to have to drive it. You're going to have a goal. You're going to have a destination. I had diamond in January. Did I know how I was going to get diamond in January? No freaking clue. I didn't care. But what I did is I had that path to diamond. What was my path to diamond? I needed 10,000 in volume on my, wait, no, 20,000 in volume on my weaker leg. Yeah, see, I don't take the time to memorize this stuff. Why? Because I don't have to. I have it written down. Henry Ford taught me a great lesson. Did you ever hear that Henry Ford got put on trial because people couldn't figure out why he was so successful because he came from nothing and he became a success? And they literally put him on trial. And they were like, how do you know all this stuff? Okay, if you're so smart, tell me XYZ thing. And he said, okay. And so he grabbed his Rolodex, flipped it open, and looked at a name. He said, I'll call this person. He'll know. He did not choose to retain information. He didn't have to know all the things. He knew other people had the answer. That's me not having control. That is me not going into this organization saying, this is what you have to do. You have to do it my way or no way. Here's my tools. Do it this way. That's the only way you're going to have success. So I borrowed belief and I shared a tool that I felt resonated. I saw a gal hit blue diamond in 60 days, asked her what she did. She said she was sending voice clips. So she would say, I use social media. I am an introvert, y'all, big time. Like, I am not a purple person. I'm getting better, though. I'm getting much better. My husband keeps commending me because we go away and he's like, you're talking to people. I'm like, I know, it's so fun. So, like, so the message was this. I would type out, "Hey Mallory, how are you?" And then I would grab my phone and I send a real quick, you don't have to do this verbatim, but I would just send a quick message. I know it's been a while since we chatted, but I'm really, really excited about something. I'd love to share it with you. Yes, it's a business opportunity. If you're happy where you're at, great. If not, love to catch up. If you're not interested, that's okay too. I just thought I'd share it with you. And I would leave that voice clip. Why do you want to leave a voice clip rather than text? One, they can't hear what you have to say anonymously. I don't know if you know this or not, but in Messenger, you can push and hold down the message and read it without them seeing that you read it. And two, they can hear the excitement in your voice. And if I say, hey, Mallory, it's been a while since we chatted, I'd love to catch up, but for now, I'm sharing my purpose for reaching out. I'm not beating around the bush. I'm like, hey, Mallory, it's been a while. How's it going? How are the kids? How are the grandkids? Whatever. No, I'm getting right to the point. Nobody likes the fluff anymore, right? We want to get right to the point. That's what I did. I couldn't tell you how many people messaged. I does that's irrelevant because I persisted until I just kept at it. And my daily consistencies was I would show me taking my fix in my drink every single morning. I was out fail every morning. Your stories on Facebook, there's a 24-hour sequencing. So I would do me taking the product, share why I'm taking the product verbally, me talking. Why do I want to talk? Because people need to know, like, and trust me. If I'm constantly sharing graphics, if I'm constantly utilizing the tools of the graphics or whatever, they're great. Yep, I've never done it. I'm not going to buy from somebody who's always just sharing graphics because I have no clue who they are. Why would I want to buy from them? I'm taking this product because it's helping me sleep. I'm taking this product because it's helping my hair grow back. I'm taking this product because it's helping me go to the bathroom. Simplicity. And then I would grab testimonies from the testimonial page, screenshot them, share a couple, and then I'd end that sequencing and I'd say, if you want more information, reach out to me in my stories every day, the same time, about the same time, every single day. And I'd let that run till the next 24 hours and I'd wait till they disappeared before I'd start another one. So people were seeing me do that every single day. Did I feel like it? No. Do I do it now? No, because I'm in a different stage. Now I'm personally messaging people at a different level. So I stay consistent. I grew. And so how do you change your, I'm sorry, Kelly, I have really long answers for things, but how do you change your identity? It's literally doing something consistent every single day, letting go of the outcome. There's that phrase that says, getting married to the process and divorced from the outcome for a reason. And I'll be the first to tell you I am a control freak. You can ask my entire family. They'll be right here. Yep, yes, she's the queen. Yep. But I am also somebody who loves when there are other people that step up. I got blessed because I literally wrote down the exact kind of leaders I wanted to work with. So I encourage you to do this. Get a journal. Write down exactly the type of leader you want to work with. And you know what? Y'all are leaders. I don't care if somebody's never done network marketing, they are a leader. If you constantly look at people below you, like when people go out there and are like, we're building this for the little people. Oh, so you're saying you're above them. Okay, no. Like nobody's above anybody here. Everybody is the same. So if you're saying I'm doing something for the little people, then you're already putting yourself above other people and then there's no equal playing field. So constantly putting your mindset into this state where I'm going to write down exactly the person I want to work with. So how did I do it? I want to work with somebody who is humble. I want to work with somebody who knows how to do graphics. I am going to work with somebody who knows how to put systems in play. Why? Because I don't care for doing that. Do I know how? Yes. But guess what kind of team I have? Y'all probably know who Megan Mumford is, right? Yes. Y'all probably know who Rose Parma is, and Lisa Tarr, and Kylie Riegler, and all these people that came into my organization. I wrote it down. And it wasn't just once, it was years upon years upon years. And when it was ready, it appeared. It doesn't mean it has to take years, though. You have the ability to change your mindset just like that as long as you don't realize that you are controlling every little aspect of it. Meaning that I have to do 20, and if I don't have 20, then nothing's going to happen. Hopefully that makes sense because, like, I know it's a very difficult thing to teach and grasp surrendering. I'll give you an example of what surrendering looks like. For years, I wanted to move to Ohio because I was doing marketing for a horse guy out here. I was marketing horses for him, and I wanted to move out here. My husband didn't want to. And so I was looking at properties. I'm like, look how much cheaper they are. This is way, way long time ago. Look how much cheaper they are, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, I don't want to. What am I going to do for work? So we bought a farm in Pennsylvania and we stayed living there. And I just kept pushing for it. And we fixed the place up and then we even put it on auction. It didn't sell. And it was like constantly shut down, shut down, shut down. And all of a sudden I'm like, all right. this is it. I guess we're just going to stay here the rest of my life and I'm going to have to make do. And my mindset changed to I love it here. Everything's great. Guess what happened? A couple weeks later, my husband calls me. He's delivering horses to Ohio. He's like, I'm ready. I'm like, you're ready for what? We're moving to Ohio. He's like, I got the answer when I was here. We're moving. I'm like, but I'm not ready now. I gave up. I'm done. I'm staying here. He's like, no, we're moving. In fact, I even talked to these ladies over here that need to move from their farm and they want to buy our farm. I'm like, what? Yeah. So let's get the place ready this weekend. They're going to come visit it. And I'm like, holy cow. That, my friends, is surrendering. And that's exactly what happened when I came here. I was going to get a job. I was broke, busted, and disgusted. And God said, I ain't done with you yet. So I was humbled. But now I see these lives changing over and over and over again. And so when you decide to let go of whatever's holding you back, whether it be the victim mindset, yes, things happen to a lot of people and it sucks. I mean, there's nowhere to candy coat that. It's awful. But are you going to choose to rise above that and say, because of what I went through, I'm going to help other people get through what I went through? So I know that was long, but that's how you can move past whatever identity that you're going after.
Hmm. Thanks, Allison. Oh my gosh. Okay, so how I like to close the call. Allison, do you have 5 more minutes? Or do you,
Absolutely.
okay.
Yep.
I love to close the call by having everybody go around and just share 15, 20 seconds, their takeaway, aha. I call it a BFO, blinding flash of the obvious. Like, oh, if you just stay consistent, your identity changes, like a BFO or something. Just so that one, we can learn from each other, and hopefully two, it pours back into you so that you know the difference you just made in 45 minutes and every single person on this call's life, so that you are being the messenger. And so thank you for being the messenger. We appreciate you so much. I can tell that a lot that everybody got value from you being here today. So thank you. So let's
Fine.
do this just with the people whose camera's on. If your camera's off, it's okay. If you do want to share, just raise your hand or turn your camera on. I'll just call your name so it can go quick. So like literally 20 second to second takeaway. Just trust yourself. You don't need to look at your notes. Whatever comes to you will be perfect. What is an aha, BFO, or takeaway that we can share back to Allison in the group? So let's go, Anna Lee, Maddie, Candace.
Thank you, Alison. I appreciate that. Belief and vision.
Awesome, awesome, Anna Lee.
Finally. Thank you so much, Alison. Yeah, I think definitely belief in vision, but the big thing for me was just surrender the outcome. I think I'm also very much a control freak, and I very easily let not getting the outcomes I'm looking for demotivate me. So that's, I think, a big one for me to work on. And I really appreciate your tips around what to focus on to try and get there. Thank you.
Hi, Alison, Candice here. Thank you so much for sharing. I relate so much to your story and, being a herbalist myself and just everything that you shared. I think, like Annalise said as well, it's the belief and vision. And I think my biggest thing is to just surrender and just do it and take, like Maddie said as well, take the outcome out of it, and just share and be share. For me, like same thing. It's my big focus has always been the product kind of thing. So I lead with the product kind of thing. And for me, it's the product and the testimonials that just drive me in this business. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Let's go, Stephanie, Chris, and then Philippa.
Allison, this was amazing. One really big thing I got early on, among everything else everyone has said, is that don't stop talking to people. That just that drip that you need, the testimonials. I'm actually so excited to do that. I have a few people have said, I can do it now, and I'm totally going to be sending them stuff today.
Awesome, Steph. Chris?
Um, Again, like it's so relatable, your story, and I'm also in the process of unlearning some of the things that you unlearned growing up in this business. And some of the experiences you shared with us, I totally experienced that myself, including like the fear of getting my car declined. I've experienced that this year. So this is it's I just messaged Kelly and I said I'm so pumped hearing Allison's story that I'm about to message like as many people as I can today. So thank you so much.
Awesome, Chris. Miss Philippa?
I clicked the wrong button during my video. Sorry about that. Alison, firstly, you are such an inspiration. I've just sent an incredible message to Kelly saying, you know what, no more messing around. Belief and vision. It's the message that I got today. And with my friend Annalie, we're going to take this, we're going to stand on that stage together because that's our belief. Yes. I did want to say a lot more, but thank you so very much because it's been so inspirational. And I'm going to be Blue Diamond. Watch this space. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, how you guys are gonna make me cry. Okay, let's go. Let's go, Mallory Lorado Rosina.
Wow, well, I've been sobbing right through this. Alison, you a potent, potent one there. Thank you so, so much. Ah, so emotional. My takeaway from this, apart from huge pride and respect for all of you, is that it's not about me. There's nothing bloody wrong with me. I'm actually okay. Watch this space. Thank you.
Awesome. Lorado? Oh, we can see you talking, but it's on mute, lovely lady.
Sorry about that. Alison, thank you so much. I've been in this business for about 8 months, and the whole concept of surrender, I realize I've been doing it with one foot in, one foot out. I'm like you, I didn't want to come on video, but starting tomorrow on my stories, I'm going to be talking about what I'm doing as opposed to just putting visuals. So I'm going to surrender to the process. And yes, I'm excited. Thank you so much for. Oh, I took pages and pages of notes. So thank you, thank you, thank you. South Africa will make you proud.
Ah, so cool. Miss Rosina.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks, Alison. Thanks so much for this evening's, for being on this evening. Listening to you speak, it reminded me of being on a presentation. And although I was invited to the business, on the business side, when I heard the presentation for the first time, the first thing I thought of, who can I help? Who can I help? There were so many people that, I wanted to share it with. And I think this evening's call reminded me of that. And it also reminded me of just surrendering, not being hung up of who's going to see it and who doesn't see it, but just sharing it. And those that it's meant to benefit will grasp it and will grab onto it as well. So thank you so much for that.
Awesome, Rosina. Okay, and then we'll go Angela, Ciola, Liz.
Thank you so much, Kelly and Allison. So I'm also a product person. So thanks, Allison, for giving me that confidence that yes, it's okay to lead with a product. And then the other nugget I got is don't worry about the comp plan. If you don't understand it, it's okay. So you can still be diamond and all without knowing what the comp plan is.
Absolutely, Angela. So cool.
Alison, thank you very much for sharing your inspiring story. Thank you. And really, what stood out for me, I just had a problem with posting and showing my face and all the rest of it. And you know what? You've given me so much inspiration today. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Awesome. Where'd Liz go? Did she get? Oh, there she is. Liz, are you able to share? I know you might be having a connection issue. Is anybody whose camera is off? Did you want to come on and share? No? Okay. Well, Allison, just thank you so much. And I think same thing with me is quit making it about myself and be as outward focused as possible. Surrender, quit trying to control the outcome and create a new identity by just being in action. Yeah, trust in the process. And we have such a phenomenal team here, as hopefully you can feel and you can see everybody here. And so we're excited. We keep saying we're launching South Africa, we're launching Botswana, and we're launching Canada. And so thank you for being our fearless leader and going first and showing us it's possible and just being, and I'm happy that you show up in your sweatshirt and you're yourself and you are who you are. And in all honesty, for real though, it gives me permission to show up the way I want to show up and be authentically myself. And I think with everybody else here too. So thanks for your huge heart and your leadership. We appreciate you.
I don't know what I deserved for all you all to show up here and do this. I'm like sitting here like I'm gonna go in a corner and cry. Like I've never had so many people say such nice things about me. So excited to go to South Africa one day. I know Kelly's gonna make the voyage out there, and I told her when she told me, I just got goosebumps when she told me that she wants to build in South Africa. I was like, my daughter. Uh, Sorry. So, if you don't know, part of my story is I was a single mom for quite a while with my daughter, and out of nowhere, she decided she was gonna, go on a missions trip by herself. She went to a church thing one Sunday, and she came in the car, and she's like, "I'm gonna go on this mission trip." Somebody came here from Zimbabwe, and they're starting this trip down there. It was called 2 seconds or less because every 2 seconds or less, somebody dies with starvation down there, and so that's why she made a mission to go down there. So that seed was planted back then because she said the people down there have such a big heart. I know you're not down there, but like all of South Africa, I got to learn so much about it. And I'm like, the hearts down there, learning to live was so less. I feel like, here in the States, we got so much. And the gratitude that people lack here is insurmountable. So like one day I knew for some reason I would be going there when Kelly came and said, I'm going to build in South Africa. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I cried right then. I don't know if she remembers. I'm like, that was a vision of mine. And gosh, super excited to grow there with y'all. So thank you for being first there and excited you're from Zimbabwe. Oh, Annalie. Oh man. Okay, so let's just let the water just fly, right? Here we go. So anyway, thank you, Kelly, for having me on. I am so humbled and grateful for all y'all what are doing. If you guys have any questions, I'm always available for questions. Feel free to use me.
Amazing. Thank you, Allison. We appreciate you. Thank you, team, for showing up big tonight. Love you guys all. Stephanie and I are staying on the call for a call. So if everybody can love us and leave us, we'll just hang out. But I think everybody's going to go to bed tonight with a full heart. So let's do this, team. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Allison. Thanks,
Thank
Kels.
you. Thanks, Alison. Thanks, Kelly.
Everybody.
Bye, everyone.